Hello, my name is Tejah Stanley, and my current internship placement is at Maynard Jackson High School, which is within the APS. I will be referring to my laptop as I have answered the questions here. Due to the fact that my supervisor here has a great relationship with the other social workers in the cluster that we are currently in. I also have the luxury of going to different schools on different days. So certain days I do go to Martin Luther King Middle School, and I'm able to shadow the social worker there so I can get a middle school experience. And that same social worker also goes to Maryland Elementary School, so I'm also able to travel along with her so I can get the social work experience on the elementary, middle, and high school level. Some skills that I developed during my foundation year practicum was definitely versatility, being able to be versatile in the way I speak to children, in the way that I speak to students, counselors, the social worker, multitasking. Multitasking is definitely big because my previous internship was at Forest Hills Academy, which is an alternative school in Atlanta, Georgia. So being able to take notes and watch students or take notes, and it was a lot of things that went on around in that school. So being able to multitask was definitely something that I learned there. Adjustment. For the first semester at Forest Hill Academy, it was very, very, very hard to adjust, only because things were not set in place at the last minute. We had an emergency with our original supervisor, and so she was no longer able to be with us for that academic year. And so we were kind of thrown in it at the last minute with no actual plan. So adjustment was definitely big for me. And for that, I am grateful that I was able to learn how to maneuver when there really is no plan set in stone. And communication. A lot of times there was miscommunication. Teachers, between the principals, and between our supervisor along with the interns, as far as what was expected of us to do within the school system. The supervisor that we were given had been in that school before, but not leading us into social work, but more as a teacher. So it was kind of difficult for her to kind of try to maneuver and figure out, as a social worker, what shall these students be working on. Question number 3, some skills and experiments that I hope to gain during my concentration year field practicum are the utility of the social worker code of ethics. I think that is very vital, and as I have started my placement at Maynard Jackson and Maryland and Martin Luther King Middle, I do see the social workers utilizing the code of ethics in almost within every client or student that they come in contact with, along with the parents, which I think is very, 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 very important. We hear about it a lot while we're in classes. We hear about it a lot while we're doing research, but it's different when you start to see those things in practice. And then sensitivity. I hope to learn to detach myself, because that is something that I struggle with, and to not take everything so personal. And I need to learn to leave things where they are. So once I leave internship, let that be the end of internship, and not taking internship problems within my home life and trying to cope with it that way. Some experiences that I would like to gain would be the facilitation of groups, assessing a client, making referrals, and researching relatable interventions. So knowing what intervention works best with what child and why. Learning what those gray areas are in between, and how you can maneuver through those gray areas, which I also feel is very important. Some strengths that I possess are definitely organization, working within fast-paced environments, listening skills, and note-taking. I think all of these play a factor in one another. It is very important for you to be organized when you're working in fast-paced environments, only because as a social worker, it is very easy to misplace something, whether it is a document, whether it's notes that you took, whether it can be like a simple phone number for a parent, and things of that nature. So definitely working in a fast-paced environment, you would have to be organized and understanding and remembering each step that you take. And listening, because it is so fast-paced, you have to be able to, going back to multitasking, you have to be able to multitask and listen, take notes, listen and walk, listen and call a parent. There's a lot of things that go on in social work, and how things can happen so sporadically that you don't have time to kind of sit down and debrief after every situation is over with. You kind of just go with the flow, and these are things that some strengths that I do possess, which I do believe leads me into the right field of social work. Number 5. Previously, a challenge that I have in my practicum is my sensitive emotions. A lot of times within working in the school systems, I see myself as a young adult growing up in high school. I see myself in these young ladies, and sometimes it becomes kind of hard for me when I see them in situations that I've been in before, a situation where I thought I saw myself going, but things kind of shifted for me. So I have to once again learn to detach myself and not have myself, not working on transference and countertransference. That's very important in social work because I don't need my personal problems and emotions to be casted upon my client and, vice versa. So that is something that I definitely do see to be one of my challenges and that I do work towards every day. And another way that I cope with that as far as transference and countertransference alongside of leaving internship where internship is every day after internship I journal. So I keep a journal of my last year internship and this year's internship. Within this journal, I keep my daily reflections of things that happened last year at internship. I wrote reflective journals, things that happened last year at internship, for example, on Thursday, February 28th. And then at the back, because I still had empty pages, I decided to go ahead and write down how I felt this year. So I think that was very important for me because this allows me to jot down all of my notes the day after they're done, put any emotions, how I feel, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad, and it keeps me going, and it allows me to just dump all my feelings into one place. So this is something that I do to help my self-care and to make sure that I'm not overbearing when it comes to the burdens of other people. And the last question states, where do I see myself personally and professionally in the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, honestly, I see myself being a successful ethic-using social worker. And I say that because we have a lot of social workers that are in the field, but they are not exercising their practice successfully and ethically. And I don't want to be one of those. I want to be one that I know my history, I know my roots, and I understand the importance of confidentiality, the importance of integrity, the importance of, self, and so that I'm able to actually be an effective ethical social worker. I also see myself working in a school system, not sure if that will be located in Atlanta, Georgia, or if it will be somewhere else in the United States of America, but I do see myself traveling, and I do see myself starting my own private practice with psychotherapy, and helping those children who are just in need. I have a soft spot for kids, as you can see, but I do know that if presented the opportunity to work in a school, and if I was able to take it, I would definitely shoot for elementary school, only because I feel like they are at a stage in their life as they're growing up where they're in the world of the unknown. Once you get to high school, you've had experiences, you're able to talk to people, right from wrong to a certain degree and things of that nature. But for those students in elementary, pre-K through 5, they've only been here pre-K through 5. So with that being said, it's kind of hard for them to navigate through life without the help of someone else. And I would like to be that person to help. So this video is for my Practicum self-reflection video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.